It may not have been what we really wanted out of this series in Detroit, but you'll take the series W, especially the way they finished off this one with a 6-0 shutout win over the Detroit Tigers today. And with the win, the Jays are back to that 11 games over 500 at 35-24, and they continue the trend of win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, which I can't wait to stop. Actually, no, didn't they win the first two? No, they won the first two in KC. So I guess it's not too bad. They lost one, won one, lost one, and they've won one. So they got to stop that nonsense. But let's talk about this ball game. What a start from Ross Stripling. He was absolutely sensational. And the bats, they came alive. I said in yesterday's video, I didn't put this jersey on, the Vladdy jersey on to make him going, to get him going. It was more or less to get the team offense going. But the top of the fourth inning happens. And with Bo Bichette on, he gets a 93-mile-an-hour fastball in the inner half, which you don't want to do, because he turns on it, crushes it to left center field, and it's gone. A 2-run bomb for Vladdy, and he's feeling good. He already had a single to this point. He's got 2 hits in the game already. He leaves the ballpark, and the Jays in the top half of the fourth inning are up now 2-0. But the Jays weren't done. Teoscar Hernandez gets on. Then Lourdes Gurriel Jr., he doubles to left center field into the gap up against the wall. And Teoscar Hernandez can jog in to score. The Jays now lead at 3-0. Then Kevin Biggio comes up, and he crushes a double. In comes Gurriel, and the Jays now lead at 4-0. But in between there, you cannot forget Gabriel Moreno's incredible walk that he had, which allowed Biggio to get that opportunity. And impressive, the young fella's at bat. You think about a young kid with a chance to drive in a run, you get a little over anxious, you get a little over swingy, and that's an interesting word. And they just kind of look out of sorts. He put up an incredible at bat against Tarek Skubal, and he ends up drawing the walk, which leads to the Kevin Biggio double, scoring the 4th run of the ball game. So a great at-bat from Gabriel Moreno. The only time he got on base today, but great at-bat there, and you love that he doesn't look out of sorts. He doesn't look too nervous. His first at-bat last night, no doubt, but, you expect that. Today, thought he looked a lot more comfortable, a lot more, just another day in the office type of mentality. And the Jays now lead at 4-0, but big shout-out to Ross Stripling for putting the Jays on their back in the first 3 innings and just shutting down the Tigers, allowing the Jays to get their offense flowing. Then once they got a 4-0, he's like, I'm not changing my mentality. I'm going to shove for another 3 more innings. He goes 6 shutout innings for Ross Stripling. Faces the minimum. Yeah, faces the minimum. Well, he gave up a hit and he walked out. What are you talking about? Or he gave up a hit, what are you talking about? Well, that hit ended up turning into a double play, so he faced the minimum. Pretty incredible stuff for Stripling today. And then the top of the 8th inning to add on to it, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hits a single up the middle. Santiago Espinal, Alejandro Kirk come in to score. And a little number that I wanted to bring up about Lourdes Gurriel Jr. We talked about early in the season, he hadn't hit his stride. When he gets hot, he gets hot. Well, Gurriel over his last 7 games is now hitting over 400. Remember when this guy was barely scratching 200, albeit most of the team was? He's now hitting up near 270. And he's walking more too, which is wild. We're loving every second of it. Gurriel doing a job down in the 7-8 hole, wherever he is on any given night. And the Jays get up 6-0. The bullpen shuts the door. And the boys take advantage of a really bad offense in the Detroit Tigers. And they win 6-0 in the finale to win the series. And they continue to win series. However, they want to sweep, especially KC and Detroit. But it's okay. You'll take it, especially, like I said earlier, especially the way they wrapped this game up with a tidy win in the finale. Now, let's get into the player stats. Actually, before I go any further, let me bring up a stat about Vladdy. The talk was before, he didn't get many hits in KC. He looked all out of sorts. He did end up going 5 for 14 in this series, which I believe is about a 350 average. And he upped his batting average from like 242, something like that. He's now up to 250 now. So we're hoping this is a stride for Vladdy in the right direction. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see as how this progresses moving forward. But he went 2 for 5 in one game, 1 for 4 in another game, 2 for 5 today. So lots of good signs, but we'll just see how this thing happens, see how this progresses moving forward. Now, let's get into the player stats here real quick. Ross Stripling, we talked about it, got the start today, 6 innings on 1 hit. no runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 4. It was very efficient. I believe over 6 innings, he threw like 74 pitches. But obviously with, still trying to stretch him out more. I get it. I had a feeling after 74 pitches they would have taken him out, and they did. But he was absolutely spectacular. His last 2 starts against, albeit, KC, I believe it was KC, and now Detroit. Not the most prolific offenses in baseball, but he went out there and he did what he was supposed to do. He went 11 shutout innings. Like, no matter who you're playing against, it's pretty damn good. So he was remarkable tonight. Jimmy Garcia came out of the pen and went an inning, didn't allow a base runner, and struck out 2 guys. Trent Thorne allowed a single, but nothing more. Didn't walk anybody, didn't allow any runs, struck out 2 guys as well. And Jordan Romano went out there. And people, for God's sakes, if I start seeing Jordan Romano, well, why are you using him? Because I said that last time, and I didn't see any comments, and I'm glad. But Jordan Romano has pitched once in the last, 2 weeks before today. So he's got to get some work in. So he goes a clean inning, no hits, no walks, no runs, okay. It's a clean job for him. And then wraps it up as the Blue Jays win it 6-0 over the Detroit Tigers and leave Detroit with a series W. They come back home now to take on Baltimore for 4, and we'll get to that shortly. Offensively, like we talked about, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. went 2 for 5 in the game with a run scored, 2 RBIs, and the bomb that he hit, the absolute missile to left center. And Teoscar Hernandez, again, another guy that, is starting to bring those numbers up. He went 2 for 3 today with a run scored, and he walked once as well. Got on base 3 of the 4 times he came to the plate. So a great job for Teo. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., same sort of numbers. 2 for 3 in the game, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and a walk. The table started to turn for Lourdes in LA. And I mentioned in that game 1 against the Angels when he had 2 clutch knocks, and I'm like, okay, he's starting to find himself now. And since then, he has been an absolute revelation. And he's been outstanding. So great day in the office for Gurriel. Kevin Flippin Biggio. A guy that everybody, I was trying to hang on to the hope for Kevin. But watching his at-bats not being very, not very competitive, and the body language on him, it just did not seem right. And then he gets the COVID, and he goes down to the minor leagues, and he stayed down in AAA for a little bit. And since they brought Kevin back up, he's been incredible. He went 2 for 4 today with 2 doubles and an RBI. And he was 192 average going into his last at bat where he got a double. Could be about 200, but he's right there. And ladies and gentlemen, his on-base percentage is 370, which is outstanding. Vladdy's is in and around there. That tells you everything you need to know about Kevin getting on base in the number 9 hole. You love to see it. Your number 9 guy is getting on base at time. It's beautiful to see. The team overall, 11 hits. That's why we were so rattled yesterday. He scored 6 runs on 11 hits today. He scored 1 run on 9 hits, only 2 less hits. You didn't get any extra base hits there yesterday, but man, oh man, did you make up for it today. 9 strikeouts in the game for the Toronto Blue Jays as well, and they win the series. Now, let's talk about the upcoming set. The Jays come back home, as I mentioned, take on the Baltimore Orioles starting tomorrow night for a 4-game set. Kyle Bradish. Bradish? It's probably Bradish. There's no E. Probably Kyle Bradish gets the ball for the Orioles, and his ERA is around 6.5, so it's not very good. So the Jays should, in fact, do a job, even though the guy yesterday had an ERA almost at 5 and was an 0-5 record, and he kind of shoved. But he's facing Alek Manoah at Rogers Center, 7:07 first pitch there tomorrow night in Game 1. Jordan Lyles gets the ball in Game 2. Yusei Kikuchi gets the ball for the Jays, 7:07 first pitch there. Jordan Zimmerman? Bruce Zimmerman. I don't know. Well, I think Jordan Zimmerman's gone now, isn't he? I think it's Bruce. Probably Bruce Zimmerman. Versus Jose Barrios in Game 3. It's a 7:07 first pitch there on Wednesday. And then on Thursday to wrap it up, I think it's Tyler Wells versus Kevin Gausman. It's a 3:07 first pitch there. So, and people are going to be like, well, you got to sweep the Orioles. Now, hold on a second here. I mean, yes, but first off, sweeping a 4-gamer is not easy. Second of all, the Orioles aren't the Orioles of last year and a few years. They're beating the snot out of KC today. So if they win that game, they're only 9 games under 500. They have a better record than the Tigers and the Royals. I mean, that's not saying much, really, but they're playing better ball. They launch baseballs. Obviously Cedric Mullins, you know how good he is. Trey Mancini, you know him. We all know Ryan Mountcastle. And they're like middle of the pack. They're like 15th in the bigs in home runs. They're like middle of the pack in stolen bases. Everything else is kind of down in the dumps. But they can leave Earth. So we'll see how the series goes for the Toronto Blue Jays. But anything less than 3 out of 4, I think we can all agree, is a failure. It is an absolute failure. Travesty. And how about we win game 1 and for the first time this year, go 12 games over 500? It would be magnificent. We'll see how it goes, though. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the game this afternoon, smack that like button. Do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below. Thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. What'd you like, what'd you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? There's really not much to not like. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below. Thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. What'd you like, what'd you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? The Twitter link is down below, so follow up, send me a DM to that great stuff. The Instagram link is also down below, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Jays Nation, of course, tomorrow night. Game 1 between the Jays and the Orioles. 7:07 first pitch there. Kyle Bradish versus Alek Manoah in Game 1 at Rogers Center, right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and definitely the game today. We'll talk to you guys then.